Hi Sagittarius, welcome to Yellow Cardinal Tarot with me. My name is Carol, and Sagittarius, this is going to be a general reading for August 2024, mid-August actually. And if you haven't seen my August reading that I did for you, I will link it at the end. And so in this reading, we're going to be doing Carol's check-in. And we're going to be looking at a pattern, first of all, that is showing up for you right now for healing. And we know it's a pattern because we've seen it before. We're aware of it. It's happening again. And it's really emotionally triggering for us. And oftentimes our ego will come in and we'll spin some stories around why, maybe it's not a pattern or why we shouldn't look at this, or just, sometimes we can even blame ourselves for it happening again. And so it's very important because patterns in our life show up because it's the universe's way of saying, listen, this is what needs healing in your shadow right now. And so in part 2, we're going to be looking at what is it in your shadow that is impacting or driving this pattern that's showing up for you. And so we're going to be doing some shadow work, and that's, looking at these things that are repressed in our shadow, that are repressed in our unconscious from our childhood, from our adolescence, that we just don't want to look at. And we don't even know what's sitting in our shadow. So if you're unfamiliar with shadow work or the word shadow, I'm going to leave you a video that I've done on my other channel called Carol Cares. And it's a video about facing your own shadow. It's called My Powerful 4-Step Guide to Shadow Work. And you can take a look at that if you need more help with shadow work. And then finally, in the third part of this reading, I'm going to ask the tarot to give you some advice as to how you can begin to heal what's sitting in your shadow, right? So you can stop this pattern. And so I'll be using the Tarot Grand Lux. I'll be using the Tarot of the Abyss. And I've pre-shuffled both decks. And so I'm going to, begin to ask the tarot what pattern's showing up in your life. And before I do that, I'm just going to let you know that I am offering on this channel personal readings. And it's the first time because this is a young channel. So I've sort of had to work up to offering these for you. I had to get my channel in order first, and now they're being offered. So I'm offering you a 10% discount until September 1st. And you can learn more about it in my comments section, in my description box. And I've also put a little video out on the community page and this channel a couple of days ago. Just a 2-minute video. So let's begin. What pattern is showing up in your life right now for healing? I'm going to ask for one card from the universe, and it looks like it wants to be the 8 of Cups. The 8 of Cups. And what aspect from your shadow is driving this 8 of Cups here? The Fool in reverse. The Fool in reverse. And what advice does the tarot have for you to begin to heal this, what's sitting in your shadow? So you can heal this pattern. One card, please, from the tarot. It looks like it's this one right here that's preventing me from shuffling further. And the 9 of Wands. Okay. So I'm going to take the Tarot of the Abyss right now to clarify. I'm going to ask for 2 to 3 cards for this. Tell me more about this 8 of Cups right here. Got one card out of that. Okay. 2 more cards, please. Okay. All right. So for the 8 of Cups, you got the 9 of Cups, the Tower in reverse, and the Ace of Cups in reverse. Now, can I have some more clarification on this Fool in reverse, please? 2 to 3 cards for that. Okay, got a group of cards here. So you got 7 of Swords, the 8 of Pentacles, the Page of Swords, and the Emperor in reverse. Interesting. Okay, so the 9 of Wands. Can I have clarification on that? 2 to 3 more cards here. Okay, just a card here that's turned. I don't know when it turned around, but it wasn't this time. 2 more cards here. Ooh! King of Swords in reverse. And you have the 6 of Cups that came out first. And then you have the 2 of Cups in reverse. 5 of Pentacles. Okay. So, I got a bit of a reading here, which is okay. You're Sagittarius. You've been very good to me, Sagittarius. You were here since, day one and supporting me big time on my channel. I know I've had a couple viral videos from you, so awesome. Thank you. All right, so the pattern that's showing up for you for the last 2 weeks in August, you have the 8 of Cups. And this is a card of walking away. And it's a card of walking away. I mean, it could be something that you're thinking about where you are walking away literally from people, from, certain things in your life. But there's a reason behind it. And the reason behind it is because it's not because you're walking away from these cups or these emotions. It's because you're walking away because you want to do some inner work. You're realizing that you need to do some inner work and you need to do some more healing. And that means you're going to be feeling some more emotions, right? And so that's where you're sitting at, this pattern of wanting to take some time for yourself to walk away. And that may mean maybe you're walking away from people or from things in your life. It's a general reading. And the 9 of Cups comes be interesting because right after it, you have the 8 and then you have the 9 of Cups right after it. And the 9 of Cups is this card about this woman smelling these flowers. And, it's almost like you're realizing that there's more out there for you. You're realizing that there's something out there for you. And oftentimes we get that inner feeling, right? That there's something out there more for me. I want more for me. And so you're thinking about it's time for me to walk away, and maybe you're feeling this nudge. And when I say walk away, it's whatever it means for you, right? Maybe you just know that you need more time to you. You need to carve out more time in your day, in your week, in your life, for you to do some healing, to go inwards. And you have the Tower moment here. And the Tower moment is, it's not a full Tower moment here that's happening, but I see it as when it comes up in my deck, as when it's in reverse, it's almost like it's that, maybe you've been, because this is the pattern. So maybe you've had red flags that have kind of keep coming up for you that's saying, I know I got to go inwards. I know it's time to do this healing. I know I got to heal. I got to heal this. And this is kind of like when you get this Tower in reverse, it's like the last red flag from the universe before the real Tower comes out. It's almost like a kind of like I want to say a gentle warning, but it's quite a strong warning that's coming out for you that's saying, it's time. It's time for you to go inwards in Sagittarius and do this work. There's an Ace of Cups here, comes out at the end, that's in reverse. Well, what is the Ace of Cups? Well, it's a gift. It's an offer from the universe. You got it in reverse. It's an offer, a gift from the universe that says, you know what? It's time to feel. Maybe you are feeling, but it could be a time to go deeper, right? Because you can feel certain things on a, let's say, you know, you've been through a bout of loneliness, or you've been through a bout of grief, and you think, well, frick, I've done this before, I've been here before, why do I have to do it again? And we can often spiral into deeper levels, deeper layers of the same feeling. You know, I can't tell you how many times I've gone into loneliness, deeper and deeper and deeper, or grief, deeper and deeper and deeper. And so, but it's in reverse here. So there is a resistance on your part to feeling, to going deeper. And this is the pattern that's coming up. You get this pattern when you know, it's almost like there's this calling or this urge to walk away and do this healing. And finally, you know, once and for all, start to take that deep dive again. But then there's this resistance. This could mean you have this fear of going inwards again, this fear of going deeper. And let's face it, it's a fear of our emotions, right? This is what this cups is. It's scary. We feel like they're going to eat us alive, and especially if it's got to do anything with grief. Grief is, people fear it the most and fight it the most, but when it comes, it doesn't eat you alive. And that's the thing about grief. I've been through there to that place so many times, and it doesn't eat you alive. It actually is very, I love to grieve, but my parts, or my ego self in particular, is petrified of me going there because it thinks it's going to eat you alive. When you were a child, it definitely would have eaten you alive. That's why you didn't grieve. You held it in, and you repressed it in your shadow because it was a big emotion. So yeah, there's this fear here of big resistance to doing this, but it's coming up again for you. You're feeling it, right? You're feeling it, this urge to go in and get at this. So what's here in your shadow? What is this that you need to go to? Well, here's the Fool card that starts off with. And, you know, the Fool card comes in as a message from the universe and says, you know, Fool card says it's a card of trusting. When you were younger, you had a difficult time maybe of trusting. But it's coming up here again of it's a childlike innocence of trusting that the universe is going to have your back. And here it is, but there's not a belief here on your part. So you don't believe that you can do this. There's, like I said, there's a lot of fear here. And usually the Fool card, when it's in resistance, it's because there's a lot of fear. So you have a lot of fear that's starting off this. And this is why you don't want to go and face these emotions, because there's a lot of fear that's blocking everything that's coming up here for you to heal. You have the Seven of Swords here, and this is the first thing that comes up for you to heal. And the Seven of Swords is called my Thief card. You know, it's the one that steals all these swords in the middle of the night. But you didn't steal these swords as a child. You were given them. And what are swords? They're our mental energy. There are mental thought patterns. There are mental thoughts about ourselves. You have all these mental thoughts about yourself that were given to you, buried in your shadow. And let's see what's behind. There's more to come here. So what kind of things are you telling yourself that people told you and you believe them? We have the Eight of Pentacles here. And the Eight of Pentacles is right in the middle here of your of your shadow. And the Eight of Pentacles is a card of somebody doing a job that they like to do. Doing something they want to do. Maybe there's something buried in your shadow. This is fascinating. Oftentimes, we're told that it's true. We're told that these are all these things that are repressed about ourselves. Things oftentimes are things we don't like about ourselves. But we can also find gifts buried in our shadow. Here's something that you wanted to do when you were younger. Here's the Eight of Pentacles. It's like, here's a gift. This is a gift. It's a talent. And maybe you know what it is. It's something you wanted to do when you were younger. And right before it, you were told all these things. You can't do it. Not allowed to do it. Too stupid to do it. You don't deserve it. And it's sitting here in your shadow. And you're feeling this nudge here. It's time. It's time to go inwards and deal with this grief or this shame that's associated to not being able to do what you wanted to do when you were younger. Page of Swords. Here's the younger part of you. Here's the inner child. The pages in my deck are our inner children. We can have more than one inner child. I've had more. In my own intensive healing, I've found more inner children that hold different emotions. This particular page in my deck holds the sword of authenticity, holds the sword of who you are, who you were. Believe it or not, when you were 4, 5, 6 years old, you knew who you were. You knew who you were. You knew who you were. You knew what you came here to do. You knew what your purpose was. And it's buried right here. This inner child holds the truth. Holds the truth to your authenticity and who you are. And what you came here to do. It's sitting right here. But they need healing. All our inner children need healing. Here's the card. Here's the Emperor card. It's the Major Arcana card that comes in at the end, and it's in reverse here. This is what's holding you back here in your shadow as to why you were not allowed to do this. And there's this inner something's coming up here for you, and it keeps coming up. You're feeling like it's time for you to walk away, to walk towards this purpose, to walk towards what it is that's pulling you, Sagittarius, pulling you in this direction, because you have a gift here, maybe more than one gift sitting in your middle of your shadow. And the Emperor card, it comes in reverse at the end. Who's the Emperor? Well, the Emperor is this solid, square figure that rules. It's like a father figure. Could be your father, could be a masculine person in your life. Makes the rules of society. Makes up the rules of things you can't do and things you can do. And it's sitting in your shadow. So that means when you were younger, there were things that you were told that you could not do or could do, but very controlled when you were younger, that said you can't do this for certain reasons, right? What would society think? What would society think if you did this? What would society think if you went this way and did what you wanted to do, because that's what was going to bring you joy in life. That's your purpose right here. But you were blocked by these rules of society of what you could and couldn't do. Now, it could have been at the time, society said this, and this is what your caretakers told you, that no. Something like, boys don't do that. Girls don't do that. Oh, that's not allowed. We don't do that in our family. You know, something like, you know, no musicians ever came from our family, and maybe there's something that you were meant to do, you know, as far as music or anything. It doesn't have to be something like in that field. It just could be you were blocked from doing something that you wanted to do, that was your true, authentic self here, but you couldn't do it, and you weren't allowed because of this emperor. And so this is what needs healing, your inner child that holds your truth. And so what you need to do now to get back to your truth, what do you need to do to start healing this? These emotions that are coming up for you, so that you can get back to your truth. Here's the Nine of Wands. This Nine of Wands talks about you've been through a lot. The universe wants you to start to, you know, get back into your body so you can start to feel. Start to feel what all these wands are, this battle that you had to go through all your life. It's time to start to feel, you know. It wants you to walk away. Here's the Six of Cups here. Well, my Six of Cups in my deck is the inner child card. And you need to start to feel pain that your inner children felt. That's how we heal. When we get in touch with our inner children and we start to feel their pain that they couldn't feel when they were a child. And then right in the middle of this is the King of Swords. Because when we, and this could be what's blocking you, because the King of Swords is the king in my deck, there's 4 of them. They're our masculine part of us. We all have a masculine part and we all have a feminine part. The king in my deck is your ego self. That'll block you. And it'll block you from going where you want to go, which is inwards, to find out who your authentic self was. It's the King of Swords. It's the one that deals with your authenticity. Your ego self will tell you that your desire to go inwards and find out who you are and get back to your authenticity of what it was you were supposed to do, what direction you were supposed to go into, it's going to come forward and you know what's going to tell you? This is bullshit. The last thing it wants for you is to be authentic. The ego self is a very scared part, and it is the one that puts on all those masks for people. You know, we go through our life and we put all those masks for people because that's what society tells us, right? This card of the Emperor card of what society says is right and what society says is wrong. And that's what it wants you to follow all the time. Status quo. It doesn't want you to put yourself first and be authentic. No, that's scary. Very scary for our ego self to step out like that. That's that fear coming up that I talked about over here with the Fool, how you have this fear that's blocking everything. That's your ego self. Two of Cups comes in here. And the Two of Cups is a beginning card. It's the Cup card. And we're still here. We're in here with what you need to heal here. And so if you turn this in an upright position, it's a card of 2 individuals sharing their cups. Very intimate. Very vulnerable. It's not 2 individuals. It's 2 sides of you. It's your masculine side and it's your feminine side. It's the joining of those 2 parts of you. You know, the emotional part of you and your ego self part, your head and your body, getting out of your head and going back into your body. It's in reverse here. It's just the beginning. And it's the beginning of connecting those 2, of getting back into our body and starting to begin that beautiful, intimate relationship with ourselves so that we can find out who our authentic self is. And the last card that comes here is the 5 of Pentacles, which is the last thing that the universe wants you, the tarot wants you to heal. 5 of Pentacles is these 2 individuals walking by this church and not feeling worthy enough to go in and get help when they need help. It's a card of self-worth. not feeling worthy enough. And that comes from the Emperor card as well, you know, telling us that we're not worthy enough. And you know, this also talks about why you don't feel worthy enough. You don't feel worthy enough to put yourself first, to walk away, to find out, go towards your authentic self. There are two things that are here, coming up here. One is your fear. Big fear here. To go inwards and to feel that unworthiness. And the unworthiness is the shame. And so I did do a August reading for you, and I want you to look at that if you haven't seen that. But I'm also feeling that instead of the August reading, I'm going to give you a playlist on fear. I'm going to give you a playlist on shame because this card came up right here. So I would tackle the fear first. How you get over that fear. I have a really good videos on there on how to actually learn how to shake your body to get rid of the fear that's sitting in your system. That's how we get, and that's the anxiety. You might be feeling, I haven't mentioned the word anxiety, but that's our fear, right? That's coming up. And some shame. You can, you know, pick one of those and start to listen to some of the videos that will help you with this. And so Sagittarius, this was a powerful reading for you. I want you to have compassion for yourself for what you're working through. This is tough stuff. It's a hard journey. Not easy, but it's the most important journey of your life. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you in September. Bye.